The Palaiologos dynasty, also Romanized as Paleologos or Paleolog, was the name of a Byzantine Greek family, which rose to nobility and ultimately produced the last ruling dynasty of the Byzantine Empire. Founded by the 11th century general Nicephorus Palaiologos and his son George, the family rose to the highest aristocratic circles through its marriage into the Doukas and Komnenos dynasties. After the Fourth Crusade, members of the family fled to the neighboring Empire of Nicaea, where Michael VIII Palaiologos became co-emperor in 1259, recaptured Constantinople and was crowned sole emperor of the Byzantine Empire in 1261. His descendants ruled the empire until the fall of Constantinople at the hands of the Ottoman Turks on May 29, 1453. Becoming the longest-lived dynasty in Byzantine history, some continued to be prominent in Ottoman society long afterwards. A branch of the Palaiologos became the feudal lords of Montferrat, Italy. This inheritance was eventually incorporated by marriage to the Gonzaga family, rulers of the Duchy of Mantua, who are descendants of the Palaiologoi of Montferrat. Dynastic genealogy. The origins of the Palaiologoi are unknown. Later traditions sometimes tied them to the Italian city of Viterbo or to the Romans who immigrated east with Constantine the Great during the founding of his new capital. Both were probably fabrications created to help legitimize the dynasty. The family are first attested as local lords in Asia Minor, particularly Anatolikon, with Nicephorus Palaiologos rising to command over Mesopotamia under Michael VII Doukas. He supported the revolt of Nicephorus Botaniates, while his son George married Anna Doukaina and therefore supported his sister-in-law's husband Alexios Komnenos during his rise to power. As commander of Dyrrhachium, George faced the Norman Duke Robert Guiscard in an 1081 battle. The Palaiologoi held military offices and further united their family to the Doukai and Komnenoi during the 12th century. They followed Theodore Lascaris to Nicaea and began to assume high-ranking political offices as well. Alexios Palaiologos, whose wife was a granddaughter of Zoe Doukaina and her husband Adrianos Komnenos. Another Alexios Palaiologos married Irene Angelina, eldest daughter of Alexios III Angelos and Euphrosyna Doukaina Kametura. The latter couple's daughter Theodora Palaiologina married her cousin Andronikos Palaiologos, who was descended from Zoe. The couple were the progenitors of the imperial dynasty. Their son was Emperor Michael VIII Palaiologos. Michael VIII's son Andronikos II Palaiologos married Anne of Hungary and fathered Michael Palaiologos, sometimes numbered the ninth. Michael IX married Rita of Armenia. Their son, the grandson of Andronikos II, was Andronikos III Palaiologos. Andronikos III married Anna of Savoy. Their son was John V Palaiologos. John V married Helena Kantakouzen, a daughter of his co-ruler John VI Kantakouzenos. Their sons included Andronikos IV Palaiologos and Manuel II Palaiologos. Manuel II married Helena Dragases. They were the parents of John VIII Palaiologos and Constantine XI Palaiologos, the last Byzantine emperor, as well as the despots of Morea Demetrius Palaiologos and Thomas Palaiologos. Demetrios, after giving Mehmed II a pretext to invade Morea, was kept from his throne and remained in captivity. His daughter Helen was a member of the Sultan's harem for a time. Thomas, in exile in Venice, sold the imperial title to Charles VIII of France, who however never used it for formal purposes. Thomas' daughter Zoe married Ivan III of Russia and, on rejoining the Orthodox faith, returned to her earlier name Sophia. Her influence on the court curtailed the power of the boyars and eventually led to the proclamation of the Grand Prince of Muscovy as the Tsar of all the Russias. Thomas's male line descendants soon went extinct, and his descent lives on through a daughter and the family of Castriota, Dukes of San Pietro di Galatina in South Italian aristocracy. One such female descendant, Princess d'Arenberg, married at the beginning of the 19th century a Pfalzgraf of Zweibrücken, whereby the Dukes of Bavaria descend from Byzantine emperors. Also Queen Anne, consort of former King Michael of Romania, descends from these Arenbergs, thus being a descendant of Byzantine emperors of Constantinople. Reportedly Irina, the first wife of Emperor Isaac II Angelos, who reigned from 1185 to 1195, was of the Palaiologos family. Paleologoi emperors Michael VIII Palaiologos, Andronikos II Palaiologos, son of Michael VIII, Michael IX Palaiologos, co-emperor, son of Andronikos II, Andronikos III Palaiologos, son of Michael IX, John V Palaiologos, son of Andronicus III, Andronikos IV Palaiologos, eldest son of John V, John VII Palaiologos, son of Andronikos IV, Andronikos V Palaiologos, co-emperor, son of John VII, Manuel II Palaiologos, younger son of John V, John VIII Palaiologos, eldest son of Manuel II, Constantine XI Palaiologos, a younger son of Manuel II, Montferrat cadet branch, a younger son of Andronikos II, became Lord of Montferrat as heir of his mother. His feudal dynasty ruled in Montferrat longer than the imperial branch did in Constantinople. This inheritance was eventually incorporated by marriage to the Gonzaga family, rulers of the Duchy of Mantua, who descend from the Palaiologoi of Montferrat. Later, that succession passed to the Dukes of Lorraine, whose later head became the progenitor of the Habsburg-Lorraine emperors of Austria. The Paleologo Oriendi, an extant line, descends from Flaminio, an illegitimate son of the last Palaiologos Marquis John George. Dynastic relations. The reconstituted realm was very weak compared with the pre-1204 empire. The Palaiologoi emperors were not granted the earlier luxury of isolation. Imperial marriages became increasingly mercenary and royal princesses regarded as little more than merchandise. The future Michael VIII married Theodora Dougina Vatatzikwe, a kinswoman of the Batatzes Lascaris family, in order to solidify his position in the Nician Empire. Michael VIII's sister, Andronikos and Theodora's daughter Irene Paleologina, was the mother of Maria Cantacuzénos, who married Constantine Tikhonivelo of Bulgaria in turn. Michael VIII was the father of Constantine, who in turn fathered John, who became the father-in-law of Stefan Dekanski of Serbia. Michael's daughter Irene married Ivan Asen III of Bulgaria, and another daughter, Eudokia Paleologina, married John II Komnenos of Trebizond, and another daughter, Theodora, married David VI of Georgia. Andronikos II Palaiologos married Anna of Hungary, daughter of Stephen V of Hungary and Elizabeth the Cuman. They were parents of Michael IX Palaiologos, who predeceased his father, but was a co-regent, as such sometimes numbered the ninth. This Michael married Rita of Armenia, a princess of Cilicia and Armenia, as daughter of Leo III of Armenia and Queen Karen of Armenia. His son, the grandson of Andronikos II, was Andronikos III Palaiologos. Michael's daughter Theodora Paleologina married Theodore Svetoslav and Michael Shishman, rulers of Bulgaria. In turn, a daughter Anna Paleologina married first Thomas I Komnenos Doukas, ruler of Epirus, and then his successor Nicholas Orsini, already Count of Cephalonia. By his second wife, Irene of Montferrat, Andronikos II had Simonise, later the wife of Stefan Milutin of Serbia. His son, Theodore I, Marquis of Montferrat, became Lord of Montferrat as heir of his mother. Theodore, inheritance was eventually incorporated by marriage to the Gonzaga family, rulers of the Duchy of Mantua. Andronikos III married firstly Irene of Brunswick, who died without surviving issue, and secondly Anna of Savoy, who was descended from Baldwin I of Constantinople. They were the parents of John V Palaiologos. John V was compelled to marry Helena Kantakouzan, a daughter of John VI Kantakouzanos. In order to obtain support to remove John VI, John V gave his sister Maria to Francesco I Gattalucia, who received the Duchy of Lesbos, an island which remained under the control of the Genoese until 1462. They founded the noble family who continued into Italian Genoese aristocracy, being ancestors of the princes of Monaco. Andronikos IV Palaiologos married Keritsa of Bulgaria. She was a daughter of Ivan Alexander of Bulgaria. Manuel II Palaiologos married Helena Dragas, daughter of Constantine Dragas, who was a regional lord of the dissolved Serbian realm. Demetrius Palaiologos's daughter Helen was a member of the harem of Mehmed II for a period of time. Thomas Palaiologos' daughter Zoe married Ivan III of Russia. In 1446, Zoe's elder sister Helena Palaiologina was married to Lazar Branković, a Serbian prince. Their descendants continued for some time in the Balkans. Thomas's male line descendants shortly became extinct. Political history. Under the rule of the Palaiologoi, the fragmented empire still claimed descent from the Roman Empire, but began to focus more on the empire's Greek heritage. The word Hellene began to be used again to describe themselves, after having been a synonym for pagan for many centuries. The dynasty was a patron of literature and the arts. Among others, George Gemistos Plethon came to prominence. The Hesychasm controversy also took place during the rule of the Palaiologoi dynasty. At the later days of their empire, the Peloponnese was the largest and wealthiest part of the empire, and was ruled as the Despotate of Morea by members of the Palaiologos family, often 2 or 3 younger brothers simultaneously. Although they often squabbled amongst themselves, they were usually fiercely loyal to the emperor in Constantinople, while their land was surrounded by hostile Venetians and Turks. The capital of the despotate was Mastras, a large fortress built by the Palaiologoi near Sparta. The Palaiologoi frequently attempted to reunite the Eastern Orthodox Church with the Roman Catholic Church, hoping this would lead the West to give them aid against the Turks. Every attempt at reunification was strongly opposed by the general population. The family had connections throughout Europe. They married into the Bulgarian, Georgian and Serbian royal families, as well as the noble families of Trebizond, Epirus, the Republic of Genoa, Montferrat, and Muscovy. Some of the dynasty remained in Constantinople long after the Ottoman conquest. 15th and 16th century Ottoman documents identified tax farmers and merchants called Komnenos bin Palaiologos, Georgi bin Palaiologos, and Manuel Palaiologos. Emblems. Flag with the emblem of the Palaiologos dynasty, the tetragrammic cross. The 4 Bs, or Pyrrhic vola, represent the initials of the family's motto. Stylized depiction of the double-headed eagle with the dynastic cipher of the Palaiologoi. The eagle was used to represent the emperor, as well as higher-ranking members of the imperial family in general. Variant flag from the Libro del Conoscimento for the Empire of Constantinople, featuring St. George's cross alongside a tetragrammic cross. The tetragrammic cross, emblem of the Palaiologos dynasty, was used under the Palaiologoi to represent the empire, as attested in several sources of the 14th and 15th centuries. It is a cross between 4 fire steels, each representing the letter B. The fire steels have been interpreted as the initials of the imperial motto beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon sigma beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon omega nu beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon epsilon omega nu beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon epsilon omicron nu tau omega nu or beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon sigma beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon omega nu beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon epsilon omega nu beta alpha sigma iota lambda epsilon sigma iota, translated as King of Kings, ruling over rulers. Another common emblem used by the Paleologoi to represent the emperor and high-ranking members of the imperial family was the double-headed eagle, occasionally displayed bearing the family's sympalma, or dynastic cipher, on the breast. This is the only recorded instance of the double-headed eagle in actual imperial use.